Today I'm gonna learn to drift in this Subaru BRZ, and I wanna bring you along for the ride with me so that way we can learn together. The first time I tried drifting was with my GR Corolla, but there's one catch. The Subaru BRZ is a rear-wheel drive manual car, but the GR Corolla is an all-wheel drive manual car. Both cars have a handbrake, so theoretically you should be able to drift them. And with my GR Corolla, I've had a very fun experience trying to drift this car at the drift track, which it is possible, by the way, but this car is more so set up to be a fun daily driver, but it's also really fun on some gravel roads because the GR Corolla does have a lot of rally heritage to it. But today we're going to be learning to drift with a rear-wheel drive manual sports car like the BRZ. By no means am I a professional drifter. I am a total newbie and I have a lot to learn. So today my good friend David, that dude in blue, is going to teach us how to drift in this BRZ. I want to give you a quick walk around on the BRZ that we're going to learn to drift on. So this car is bone stock, but it is totally perfect for what we need to do. It's rear wheel drive, it's manual, and it's a light sports car, which is perfect. Now I personally actually own a 2018 GT86, which is a very similar car to this one. It's just the previous generation, and I've tried to drift it, but mine is an automatic, so that makes it a little bit harder to slide. Luckily this one here is manual and it has a handbrake that we can actually pull, but I don't think we'll really need to use it too much out here. But we're gonna set up figure eights, or we're gonna first learn donuts, things of that nature, because I have a lot to learn and I will always continue to have a lot to learn with drifting, because I think it's one of those things where you can just continue to better your skills and learn something new every time. Even David, so he will drift this car for 7 hours straight here at the OTL party that they host every year, and the car just takes it all day long. But he was telling me how even drifting it for 7 hours straight, each lap you're learning something new. How could I have done this corner better? How could I have initiated this? Or how could I have got my corner exit better here? There's just so much to improve on, and the idea is to just never quit and to keep learning more about drifting and just bettering your skills, and it's a lot of fun. I really do love this sport. You don't want a high horsepower car, you don't need an angle kit, twin turbo kit, all of that crazy stuff. You just need a car like this to learn to drift. It's low horsepower, but it's still plenty of horsepower to actually get you sideways. I'm super excited. That's enough yapping. Let's go ahead and learn to drift. The boys convinced me that I should slide the OTL GR86. Which David is kindly testing out. So let's give it a shot and see how I can do. I should feel pretty comfortable because it's not much different than mine, hopefully.
It's better.
It's better. I mean, it makes more power.
It's all about where your eyes are going. When you're about to transition to the next direction, you turn your head before you do it, if that makes sense.
So just essentially look where you want the car to be,
yep.
Right?
Yep, your head's on like a gyro. That's like the best way to think.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yep, all right, let's see it. Look that way. More. Look that way. Go now. Sauce, more sauce.
Oh,
that way. Go, look that way. Go. Now, more. Now look that way. And go. Good, very good. Just like that. I love this platform. It is so good.
The 8.6, yeah, it's just so good. And this one makes more power too, which is really nice.
Yeah, the extra torque and displacement helps a lot for goofing off like this. I want to see you do it without instruction this time. I just want to see you get your vision right. All right, 3, 2, 1, sauce. All of it. Change direction.
I think when I threw off my line, I don't know, I kind of hesitated.
So how do you think you would recover? That's my question for you. So if
don't know, actually.
So there's a few things you can do. So basically the key is to never panic, right?
Yeah.
You always want to look, and typically what happens is when you get into a sticky situation, you'll end up looking where you don't want to go, right?
Yeah.
And so you'll get stuck in a loop and stuck in a donut, and you're like, instead of going, wait, how do I transition to the other direction safely? So basically what happened is we got pushed out. You started kind of getting pushed out and understeering, and you kept going in that direction because it feels comfortable. Donuts, once you have donuts, you can do it in your sleep, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, to get it back, you go, So yeah, just focus on your vision. That's what I would do.
Do you think, so when I do this with the Corolla, is I use the brake to weight transfer it. Do you think I should be doing something like that in this car?
The Corolla is going to be extremely different because it's all-wheel drive and it wants to push. This, it's so much easier in rear-wheel drive in so many ways. So I think all you need to do is when you're ready to change direction, turn your head, look where you want to go, and then add some throttle and have the wheel come back the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want you to do in the dead center, I want you to do a nice tight figure 8 for me, and then we'll go wider from there.
Got it. Should I start with a donut first, or?
Just do a figure 8.
Just a figure 8?
Just get it in your system. That way you can just do it. All right, left, go left, and go. Yep, let go. Good, now go that way. Yep, good. More sauce. And look that way. Good. Keep more. Look that way. Okay. Good. More. Look that way. Here you go. All right, that's good. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Here you go.
That felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's different to me is when I slide the Corolla, which is what I'm most used to sliding.
Which is crazy, by the way.
I have to be very aggressive. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I have to be very aggressive with like my weight transfer and my steering versus this is more throttle.
It's all, so the thing about a car like this is it's mostly footwork and also your steering. But the good thing is this car has really natural self-steer.
Yeah.
Right, you don't really have to force it back. Some cars, when you're drifting, you have to like nudge it to go the other way. This just does it, right? And that's great. So you can really focus on where your head's turning and where your foot's going. The thing is you're almost there. The hesitation I'm noticing is when you're coming around on your transition, you'll let 100% off the gas. So what I want you to do this time is I want you to do basically 10%. So like instead of coming all the way off, give it a little wheel speed.
So stay on it.
Stay on it. Just, I'm talking like a SpongeBob big toe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
You know where that's coming from? With the Corolla.
Yeah.
It understeers. So if you stay
really
in the throttle, you're going to continue to understeer. So you have to let off completely and then apply a little brake to have the nose dive so that way
you don't
rear.
you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I'm just so accustomed to it. But it's funny because I have an 8.62, but I don't really slide it that much.
Right. And you did the reverse. Most people learn rear-wheel drive first, then they try all-wheel drive. Which feels very unnatural the first time you do it if you're locked into this style of driving.
Yeah.
So all right, so this time, remember that kind of 10%. We'll see how it goes. Good. Now go. No, now. A little bit. There you go. More. A little bit more. Okay, look that way. Now. Go. Hey, go. Too late. You see that? So, do you see what happened there?
Almost too late.
So basically what happened was in a, let's say in a much different situation where you had a lot more tire, you have basically no tire right now. You're basically almost learning on ice. So it's giving you good car control.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to train you a little bit more to when you have more tread on the car. The thing is you'll notice, I call it the car wanting to be a car again. So like when you're out of slide, you let off the gas 100% and it snaps back into place like that, right? It wants to grip. So if you were in a much grippier situation, you probably would have maybe pushed and hit those barrels.
Really?
Yes. So it's one of those things where when we're doing kind of this number in your transition, that could have gripped up and pushed you. So basically you pretty much have it. It's just some moments you're coming completely off. So I want you to try to just get that in your brain to stay in it, that 5-10%.
Yeah.
But I'm literally splitting hairs here, by the way. Like I want you to do it in your sleep. You know what I mean? That's the goal.
I think so. What's happening is I'm coming around the figure 8.
Yeah.
And I'm you know, we got to give it the beans, and I think what happens is I rotate really quickly, and I almost spin like a 180.
Yeah, and you can smoothen out that over time.
Yeah.
Like when you do your figure 8 transition, it's very easy to go late and kind of snap it real hard, which makes it harder to recover.
That must be why,
so,
yeah.
I hate to be that person. Do you mind if I show you something?
Oh, of course.
Okay,
I
we'll swap
want you
real
to
quick.
show me something.
All right,
Let's swap.
So I want you to watch how I kind of come around and how I kind of, when I first, you might notice like last night, which context, you know, I drifted for what, 7 hours or whatever it was.
A good 7 hours, yeah.
Basically, I always had to break the tires loose once, and instead of going for that full send immediately, I would go shallow, then a little bit deeper, then a little bit more, then a little bit, and to see what the car liked.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I want you to do is basically get it nice and shallow at first, and then you end up kind of steering with your foot. So you end up having, the more gas you have, the more angle you have. Does that make sense?
I think what I'm just so used to like grippy cars where I have to really do this with the wheel, and this is like you can just relax.
Yep. No, like the key about any sort of like drifting or anything like, or even just good driving enduro, it's like just stay relaxed.
Yeah.
Right, and it's really good to have like the 9-3 rule, because it helps if I'm gonna feed the wheel, I know exactly where my hands are going, and I'm not crossing.
Was I crossing?
No, you were doing great.
Okay.
I'm saying a lot of people when they first learn, they do this panicked.
Yeah.
Oh God, because guess what? They were never taught to do this.
Yeah.
The DMV brochure did not have.
Yeah,
that,
the DMV's like stop at a stop sign,
So-
not this.
So when I go, I'm gonna basically go here. See this? That's like 5%. And look, I'm barely doing anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you feathering the throttle, or are you
that's
staying?
holding it.
You're just
That's
holding at around
maintaining
5.
it. So right around 5-10%. So if you watch, I'm not panicking. What I'm doing is I'm identifying how much throttle equates to how much angle, right? So I'm going here, I let go,
Oh, I see it now. Yeah.
like that. So the other thing is, obviously one tire is a little bit worse than another right now. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing looking the other way.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be like, okay, so you see how that side was a little wonky.
Well, yeah.
So the other side was really easy, other side not so much, because last night when we were driving so much in the lot, the line tended to go one way more than another. Now I'm really over explaining, but it's one of those things where if you notice when I do my figure 8, I'm trying my very best to not have the and then the because if you were in an actual track scenario, you probably spin out, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where if I go over here.
Yeah, let's feel a figure 8.
Yeah.
I want to feel how you're transitioning.
So,
that's where I think I'm.
So I could give it more sauce, but I'm trying to show you, like, you just progressively go, oh, I can go more, I can go more, I can go more. If I really want to give it, you know, I can. We also don't have tires, so.
Yeah, I can already feel it. It's like, are we on wire, you think?
No, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Well, so what I would like to learn, or the way I would like to go about it, is kind of how I've been doing it, where you want to try to slide it with the least amount of throttle possible, right? I don't want to be sitting at rev limiter and just going crazy, or is that a false sort of mentality?
Well, so rev limit, it's debatable. Like, there's a big drift debate of like limiter good, limiter bad. Because I'm a limiter bad kind of person because I have mechanical sympathy.
Yeah.
I think of like with throttle control, like to stay close to limiter. I mean, we're really splitting hairs here, but for me, it's like, how can I get the car to be the happiest it is?
Yeah.
But the other thing too is, with drifting, most of the time you're going to be in the sauce to keep it at angle.
Okay.
Because the car is going to want to snap back if you don't.
Yeah.
So if you don't give it the sauce, you just end up pushing. So I'm just pushing.
Like, that's a very familiar feeling from my Corolla.
Especially in the Corolla.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what all-wheel drive kind of feels like drifting, right?
Yeah, you're sitting there trying to play with the wheel, and
it's
it
not,
doesn't.
to me, I don't enjoy it that much. I'm like, I just want to be free.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it kind of feels. And so With this, like say I went through here and I didn't give it sauce, I'm gonna hit a barrel.
Exactly.
Right, and especially if... So right there, in the middle part of that, I noticed I didn't have enough angle to get around.
Yeah.
I added throttle. And so what that's doing is it's pushing that rear end around to get that angle. So if I come around here, I came real shallow. I should have been kind of over here.
Yeah.
But I came here, and then I might as well have been a road course car, right here.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I need a little bit more. So I stabbed it some. I didn't do this. I went like that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so you're not like, so let's say like you're doing a figure eight or even like over here. Are you doing like this with the throttle?
I like an analogy I kind of like, an instructor told me one time was like, imagine there's like a water balloon under the gas pedal and you're trying not to pop it. You know, you're just kind of like,
okay, that makes a big difference.
I mean, eventually when you get to a higher level, you're going to be more stabby and more everything. But like just for learning, it's to realize that like 0 to 100%, be like your car is going to have availability of power here and here and here. So if I do 5%, if I do 10%, 20%, and then I do 50%, right? And so eventually you're going to go faster and faster and faster.
Makes sense.
But if you do this this is what a lot of people do when they learn, is they stomp. So they do not do this. So basically you come over here and they'll have the clutch in, and we have no tire, so we don't have to clutch in right now. But they'll do this. See, they do this. And so what that does is really unsettles the whole thing. So if you're stomping like this, and you go, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, nothing really good happens, right? So if you just kind of let it break loose and go, oh, car like this, and then the car likes this, and caveman talk, car like this, you know, it's like, okay. So I'm gonna get out, and then I wanna see you do it again. How do you feel?
A lot smoother.
So yeah, did you just kind of take some notes? And yeah, you looked a lot smoother.
I felt more confident doing that. That felt great.
Well, that's another, like, it sounds really cheesy, but having confidence helps a lot.
For sure.
And not overthinking and just being like, I've done it before, I can do it again. I've done it before, I can do it again. And so you looked a lot more comfortable, and I noticed there was a moment where you turned your head a little late and you went, oh no, it's fine. And then you got it, and it was okay. You build up that muscle memory of like, oh wait, yeah, it's fine. I just got to recover, take a breather. You didn't panic, you did it. Especially because there was one over here that you had kind of a late transition. Like, let me see what he does. And you did fine.
Yeah, I just stayed in on it. And
yep, it brought the car around.
Because originally, like we were saying in the beginning, I was just letting off the throttle and hoping that I could brake tap it to get it to kick out.
Yeah.
But with this car, you actually want to just apply more throttle, which is completely the opposite of what my brain is used to. But it's cool. You know,
that's right.
Back and forth.
Learning new things. Oh boy.
I can already tell you what went wrong. I think I was a little too aggressive. I wasn't as smooth with the throttle.
That's
and
right.
It was just the weight transfer, and it threw me off. That's what it was.
But you detected it. That's the important thing. You said, oh, that doesn't feel right. And now you figured it out.
Yeah.
So it's good. So I think the last thing you should do is try to do a donut around a barrel.
Okay.
It's not that hard, I promise you.
All right.
He's got it. He's fine.
I thought.
Yep. It's not that bad.
Actually.
Not that bad.
That helped a lot because
Yep.
normally when I've never actually drifted around something, but when I would do like donuts, I would mentally make a visual center point, but this time having a physical point there and then actually looking past it like you.
It actually makes your life easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Now, do you think you could do a figure 8 around 2?
Let's try it.
All right, first figure 8 through a barrel. Let's see it. Good. More sauce. Got it. He's got it. See, it's not so bad.
Not so bad, but it is scary. I guess you're right. They're just there to guide you, really,
yes.
more than anything.
No, but you looked fine.
In conclusion, after all of that, I learned so much about car control, and I definitely noticed a few spots where I was making mistakes, and I have a lot of spots where I know I can now improve on, and it's gonna be great because it's a never-ending cycle. You're always gonna have room to grow and learn, and I love this sport. I think drifting these cars is so much fun, and now that I've kind of learned on this BRZ, when I go home to my 8.6, I'm gonna probably have a little bit better control of that car, and I super enjoyed it. And shout out to David, ThatDudeinBlue. Definitely check out his channel. He's a great guy. Nothing but good things to say about him. But if you enjoyed the video and want to see many more just like it, please do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.